Hey everybody, what is going on? All right, happy Halloween to all of you. This is a video that I wanted to quickly get in just in time for the big day. It's October 30th while I'm recording this now. Um, and I promised you guys I was going to go over a couple of mask pickups I got recently, as well as a couple of really awesome announcements that I'm super excited to share with you guys. So we are going to get into that, as well as a couple other little pickups that have, of course, been trickling in, as everything does right around this time of year. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so the first thing I wanted to go over with you was a pickup that I got recently from Horror FX Designs. This is something I placed an order for a while back. It is something that I got to help complete my Jason Lives cosplay, and that is a set of the throwing darts as well as the section of fence, basically Jason's spear he uses in Jason Lives. Now, Horror FX Designs, they do a lot of this kind of stuff. The fence post is right here. Just show you what we're looking at. So there is the tip, you might notice. Looks just like the film, as well as the broken piece on the bottom that is like this, that gets torn off of the fence. What you really need is about a 3/4 inch piece of, black PVC piping, or whatever you can get. You can always just paint it black, I guess, too, but that is how you get yourself a piece of fence to make yourself a Jason Lives spear. So as long as you have these two pieces, you're pretty much golden. So I'm gonna have to go and cut a section that works with my height, and go from there and get that done. So I will do that eventually. I just wanted to make sure I had this so that I could pull it off, because I know these sometimes take a while to make, and this is something that they offer with Horror FX Designs. So looking forward to trying that out. And then, as well as, I picked up the throwing darts, which are really quite a work of art. Check that out. So very realistic looking. And of course it has the fishing lures on the end here, as you can see. You have a red, you have a brown, and you have a yellow. So just like the movie. Very nice quality, quite pokey, quite sharp actually. I might have to dull that a little bit if I'm going to bring them to a con, but they look awesome, really well made. And I love the little lures, they're perfect. So those of course go in the pouch throwing dart bag there, if you will, from Jason Lives. So that is going to help complete the costume. Now there is one other piece from that belt that I don't have yet, and you guys probably already know. It's the knife. Now I do have a real knife, a survival knife that's similar to that Ram 2 knife. I think it's a Rambo 2 knife technically, something like that. But anyway, it's a real knife, and obviously I can't take it anywhere. I've just used it for some shots here and there, and it's not quite accurate. It doesn't have quite as much of a curve as the real one does. But there is another gentleman that I contacted as well back around this time that makes them, and makes a nice leather sheath for it as well. And it looks amazing. And I could show you a picture of that right now. So as you can see, it's pretty much a dead match for the movie knife. Really looking forward to getting this, because of course it's going to be con safe as well, being resin, so I should be able to bring it in. I'm really glad to have all that together, so that is something that is going to really improve my Jason Lives cosplay. So once I have everything together, I'll probably try it on and check it out and see what it looks like. But the knife is still a little ways away, I would say, just yet. Okay, so moving on to the masks. So in that last video I mentioned I got some stuff from Trick or Treat Studios. Well, these particular masks are from Trick or Treat Studios and came in at different times, believe it or not. But I decided to go ahead and get a copy of the Strangers Pray at Night style mask that, of course, the Axe Killer has. Nothing too crazy, just a piece of burlap, of course, but it has the face on it and everything too, and I figured for the price, it was worth it. The thing is, when you order from Trick or Treat Studios, the shipping is quite expensive, so it's a bit of a commitment, so I like to really place an order and get a few things if I'm going to go ahead and do it, because it's going to be pricey to ship it. So anyway, I got one of these. Let's open it up and take a look at it. And there's a little look-see. So not bad. It's literally just like a piece of burlap. This wouldn't be too hard to make on your own, I'm sure, but it's cool that it's licensed and everything, and it's from Pray at Night. But this is how it looks. Just get yourself a nice brown suit and a tie and one of those axes like that up there. You'll look right at home. The Strangers Pray at Night. Yeah, I guess styled after the sequel. And now, of course, I have pieces of burlap and stuff all over me, so that is an unfortunate side effect, is you're going to get all sorts of lint and crap everywhere. Damn, so you're going to need to keep one of these things handy. Keep your clothes nice and clean. You might need a new sticky pad there, but whatever. Anyway, you get burlap everywhere with that thing, so what are you going to do? Okay, so moving on to the other mask I was telling you about. Now this one is really cool. I had seen it advertised for a long time on Trick or Treat Studios, and I had never seen it when it was actually in stock. And I knew that they weren't going to be in stock again for a while when I got this thing in the summertime. And I believe they were expecting it in October, so it was cool that it arrived before Halloween. Had I been using it for something like that, that is very cool. But this mask also came in a huge display box that I was really surprised to see, because there's no indication at all in the ad that it's going to come presented in this giant box. Because I got this package in and I was surprised at how big it was, but there was a nice little dent in the box and I thought nothing of it really. But then when I saw that it's sort of like a collector edition box inside and it's damaged, I was like, damn. Because like, it's the box itself. It's not like I'm a big collector or that I'm going to put this thing on my shelf to display in the box, because it's way too big. But you know, if I was, I'd be pretty annoyed with how it's all dented and stuff. So the mask I'm talking about is the Deluxe Black Phone Grabber Mask, right here from Trick or Treat Studios. Very cool. I love how official this thing looks. But as you can see here, it's all crushed and damaged in the corner. It got really bunched right in there, which is too bad because it's a really fancy looking box. Very cool, you know. Deluxe Grabber Mask, the Trick or Treat Studios logo all over it. And it's sculpted by Tom Savini. How cool is that? Anyway, yeah, I just really wanted a copy of this just in my collection because I thought it was a really cool mask. But knowing it comes with the 3 different faces and everything too, super cool. And it looks like it has some sort of a latch mechanism where they just sort of plug in. So very cool, with like little tabs. So I'll have to take a closer look at this thing. Very cool. This is surprisingly quite comfortable, actually. Very cool. And yeah, it's not really moving around anywhere. That's pretty awesome, man. It would look really cool with all the other faces on it. Like this one. Or, of course, this one here with nothing. Awesome. Yeah, this is cool, man. Really like this. I could have fun with this thing. But I like how it has the 2 elastics on the back, sort of keep it in place. That's very cool. Yeah, that's super cool, man. I really like this thing. This thing's badass. Cool purchase. I like it. Would recommend. And then we got Smiley. Very cool. Awesome. Very cool. I do like it. Okay guys, now we're going to get into the announcements part of the video. Okay, so I've been pretty excited about this for a little while now. A few months back, I placed an order for a couple of different masks, and both of them are like top tier, really exciting stuff. The first one I want to talk about is a Scream 6 Ghostface mask that is designed after the bodega scene that was made for me by Ghostface Horror. Now he has an Etsy shop. I follow him on Instagram, but that's how I found him. But he does have an Etsy shop where he offers this work, and it's really, really top notch. It looks excellent. Okay, so a while ago, back in early September, he asked me if I wanted it shrouded. And I said, well, yes, of course, absolutely. I wanted it shrouded. I didn't realize he didn't shroud them himself. And he said, because there's a fellow I use. I guess it's another fellow by the name of Joshua, is out of Oklahoma, but he reshrouds them. So he said, talk to him, and you can work it out through him, and I'll send him your mask, and he can get it done. Fair enough. So I looked into his work. It looked awesome, and I sort of let him know what I was looking for, and he came back to me. I think it was September 13th, where he actually showed me. He asked me first if I wanted to see it, and I'm like, well, yeah, of course I want to see it. I haven't been shown a photo, and he showed me 2 pictures, and they are right here. So naturally, these 2 pictures kind of blew my mind. I thought it looks absolutely incredible. So I'm really excited to get my hands on this thing, because this looks like it's right off the set. Like, so cool. So I picked out a few options, of what to go with, whether you want tassels or no tassels. Of course, I don't want tassels. I want it to look as much like the film as possible. That's all I cared about. And, as long as I, of course, had it in time for Saturday's party I just went to. I just didn't realize it was going to take this long. We didn't really talk about it too much. And I don't know, I think it was the first week of October or so, I sent him a message saying, how's everything coming along? Seeing how, we're in October already, I just want to make sure everything's moving. And his response was something along the lines of, I've been telling everybody after Halloween. And I'm going, huh? I'm like, you sent me that picture on the 13th, didn't it? Whatever. So I talked to him about it, and he came back, oh yeah, yours is in a batch that'll be out before Halloween. And I thought, oh, okay, I would hope so. I didn't realize, right? Like I said. So the day was getting a little closer and closer, right? So we're probably about, 10 days out or so from the 27th, which was the Friday I wanted to receive it by, so I could get everything together and take it out, for the following evening. The 28th, of course, at the latest, because that was the day of the party, but knowing that the mail system pretty much only operates Monday to Friday for the most part, I knew I needed it by Friday. So I mentioned that to him, and he said, well, you could always expedite it. And I said, yeah, like, for sure. I don't want to have to expedite it, obviously, if I don't have to, but if I have to, I got to make sure I get it, right? So that was the message that I put across the whole time was, yeah, for sure I would expedite it if I have to. No, I don't want to pay, an arm and a leg for it. That would suck, but, if I have to, I have to. Hopefully not. And I was trying to stay close in contact with him over that day or day and a half when he was getting it together. So I knew, I might have to send him a little more money to expedite it. And the next message I got was, I sent it off. It should be there by Friday. And I thought, holy shit. And it wasn't expedited, and it's going to be here. I sure hope so, because you're like in Oklahoma, aren't you? And I had told him already a few times, I'm in Canada, and gave him my address. So it just seemed really fast, and I've got a lot of stuff in the mail, over the last 2 decades, right? So I know it takes a while usually. So I was a little worried about it, and sure enough, it didn't show up by Friday. And then when I let him know that it hadn't made it or whatever, and he was like, oh, you didn't want to pay for expedited. And I'm like, what? No, like, of course I don't want to, oh, that would suck, but yeah, I implied the entire time that I'd be willing to do that because I have to have it by the 27th, and didn't happen. So that is how Freddie happened for the big party on Saturday night, which turned out to be not as big of a party as I thought, mind you. But anyway, this mask is coming. I imagine it's probably going to be in sometime next week or something. I seriously doubt it's going to arrive out of the blue tomorrow before Halloween, which doesn't really matter because on Halloween night I pretty much always put on a Michael Myers setup one way or another. I mean, it's my best cosplay, and it's his day, you know what I mean? It's hard to be anything else on Halloween But it was fun going as Freddy to the party, mind you. I finally got to try out that Freddy's Revenge costume for the first time. And the cosplay is turning out really well. I have to get a proper sweater. I know my sweater is really weak, but at least the striping is pretty close, pretty accurate for part 2. There's just so many out there that aren't, that are so much worse. So I'm satisfied with it for the moment, but I know I do need a new sweater. But here are a few shots of me as Freddy Krueger in the proper makeup. Now, I mentioned to you guys before, you know, when everybody was saying, oh, it looks weird with your eyes, you know, because I had no eye makeup on, I had nothing in the mouth, you know, and this time I did everything. I did the teeth, I did the eyes, and I made sure everything was all covered because this was a real appearance. I was going to be wearing the cosplay in full. I wasn't just doing like a practice run to see how it fit. So I did go out with a buddy of mine who wore my Jason Lives outfit, as you can see there. And he is a little shorter than me. He's probably about 5'11", so probably not the biggest Jason in the world, but it looked really good, and we got a lot of smiles and stuff. There was one person that asked for a picture, and we had a Michael Myers come up to us and just freak out, oh, you guys look awesome, and he's fist bumping us and stuff. It was really cool. I would have liked to hang out with him a little longer, but it was really tough wearing that silicone Freddy mask. Even though I had it all built up so I could see a little bit better, it helps, but over time it was still very tight on my eyes, so I had to always adjust it. And because there's such little room for your eyes, the inside of the costume was practically touching my eyeball sometimes. So I constantly had to play with it and pull it, and, you know, because it was so, just the eye holes, like I said, should probably be a teeny bit bigger for me and stuff. I'm just too afraid to cut it and leave that exposed white silicone that I know I'm going to have to try to touch up or something. And I don't want to do that. The other thing that made it hard is all the Silpoxy that I put on to sort of build the silicone up behind the forehead, it goes on quite gummy and sticky, so it has almost peaks. You know, you're trying to keep it smooth, but then it would stick and swirl, and you had to get off of it before it would dry and try to pat it down, and it would end up having a lot of rough peaks. So it dried, you know, hard, rough, mountainous peaks that are like digging into my brow. So after wearing it for, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours is all I had it on for. It was just completely beet red across here and all chewed up. And you can also see it here on my cheeks a little bit where I had to pull it off. So it's tough to wear, but it looks incredible. You have the contact lenses and everything. That is a wild looking cosplay. I really, really love it. But I know I'm still tweaking the comfort of it, and of course, like I said, I do have to get a proper sweater, but that is almost there as well. So it was fun wearing Freddy for sure, but I know it would have been really cool having that ghost face finished mask with the ghost face robe and, you know, the gloves and the proper boots and everything. And for comfort, it would have kicked ass because it would have been much more comfortable than Freddy for that evening. So unfortunately, that one will be coming a little bit later, after Halloween. So I will show that when I get it and everything, and give you guys the full scoop on it, and you know, try it on and everything. All right, so that brings us to the other announcement. Now this is the one that is even crazier, ladies and gentlemen. This is a really, really big one for me. I decided to go for it when I was able to sell my Jeep. But anyway, because I was saying goodbye to that and moving on, I decided to take a little bit out so I would have enough to put down on a proper Halloween 1978 mask. Now, some of you may know, and some of you may not know, that I have always wanted a NAG mask, of course. That's one by Nikos. That's, you know, Nick, everybody calls him for short, of course. He has all of the craziest sculpts from the 78 film, basically the ones that look the most movie accurate out there. He had one in particular that I had my eye on for years and years, and that is a Castle 75K. I believe it's one that was derived from the 98 Proto, I believe it's called. That is another one of my favorite masks that I kind of wanted from him. But I really like the Castle 75K. I like the bit of the stretch that's built into it, and it's a really accurate looking mask for the movie, in my opinion. Then he came out with another mold a few years back called the PS78. Now that one is one of the ones that everybody thinks is the Grail as well, in terms of looking like it's from the movie. And I agree, it's up there. I was sort of in between that or the 75K, the Castle 75K, mind you. But I was on the fence about which one to go for the longest time, and I thought maybe I can try to get one used one day or something, or, you know. But then this interesting little project popped up that he was doing with horror legend and one of my idols, and I'm sure many of yours, Sean Clark. Now, Sean is absolutely awesome. Biggest collector we know. He does the Thing with Two Heads podcast with Chris Nelson. He does all the Horrors Hallowed Grounds episodes and stuff, and Hollywoods as well. He's all over the community, of course, and he is the guy who is an agent to many of these horror film stars that you see at conventions all the time. So Sean is a gigantic fan of Halloween, and knows so many people involved, and he actually has an original 1975 Captain Kirk mask, that's untouched, that's all original. And he also had, I believe it's some other slightly smaller version of the original mask from the film, more or less, the mold, that I think was a little bit too small, and they couldn't make life-size masks out of it or something. I don't know the whole story, how it goes, but he basically partnered up with Nag Masks, that's Nico's, to create their own, like, super accurate looking 1978 Shatner mask, and it's called the Nag SC75. So I heard about this coming out, and I saw some shots in the mold, and I thought, holy shit, I've got to go for this one, because again, it had that same look I was looking for. It looked a little bit like a Castle 75K. It looks a little bit like a 98 Proto, and with a little stretch into it. And I have a fairly long face. I might be able to pull it out a little bit when I'm wearing it to achieve that Nick Castle, Michael Myers look from the 78 film. So I went ahead and I put an order in with Nick, and I was hoping to get in the first 20 or so, because he said if you are in the first 20, you're probably going to get you're going to get it much sooner. Like normally his wait's about half a year. It's a 6-month wait. But he said with these, it's probably going to be more like a couple months, because he's going to do a first batch of them soon, and the other ones will probably take some time like usual. But I was hoping to make it, and it turns out I did. So it's very, very cool. And it is actually already shipped, believe it or not. And he sent me 3 pictures. Now, I did put these up a little bit earlier on michaelmyers.net on the thread, because somebody else had as well, and I just wanted to say, hey, I got my pictures up as well. At first I thought they might even been the same pictures, but no, they're definitely different. But it's a beautiful looking mask, so I'm going to show you those shots right now. So here you have it. Absolutely gorgeous mask. I'm so excited to get this. I think it looks like it's finished extremely well. I know some people have been critical of Nikos' finishing work, but boy, lately I have been seeing him knocking them out of the park. Like, he's doing such a great job with them. I'm just thrilled with how this mask looks. Naturally, I went for the Michael Myers finish, because you can go for the Shatner style Kirk finish, right? But I did go for the Michael Myers finish, and I got a 24.5 inch, so that is about the size of my Kills mask roughly, so it should fit my head quite perfectly, because I know a 24 is very hard to get on. That's like my 2018 mask, and my eyes are practically sticking out of it, so I need to have that little bit of extra room, so I'm hoping it'll be just perfect. But this is my Grail 1978 mask, and I couldn't be more excited to be getting a hold of this thing. And yeah, I would be wearing it for Halloween, but I'm sure, it's coming from Italy. There's very little chance I'm going to see it in the mail tomorrow. That would be mind-blowing. If by some miracle it does show up tomorrow, then I will definitely be putting it on for Halloween with my Creepy Customs coveralls and all the rest of it, where I would normally be wearing this one here, this modified Sinister Studio Hero that Roland Kelly redid for me. I think that looks a lot like a stunt mask. If you look at some of the pictures of the stunt masks from the original movie where the eyes look a teeny bit bigger, it reminds me of that a bit. So I think the really nice nag mask is going to look wild next to something like that. However, I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put it yet or what order I'm going to put it in. I thought about maybe putting it on top of this one, but I kind of want it at least covered a little or under a shelf. So I guess we'll see what happens, but I am super excited for that mask. It is going to be so freaking cool. So that is your big Halloween news. So that is coming, and I think it's going to blow minds when it shows up. So really looking forward to getting that one. Okay, guys, well, that is pretty much it. I just want to wish you all a really happy Halloween. And what are you guys doing for Halloween? Are you guys cosplaying? Are you dressing as Michael Myers? What are you guys doing? Me, for the big day, you know, I got to pull out a Michael Myers. So far, I've used the 2018 a couple of times. I used it actually in 2018 before it was finished, but it was a decent copy. It looks a little silly, but I'll show you a shot of that. Back when you would color your eyes black underneath to sort of hide them a little bit, that was where I was going. And of course, those coveralls aren't even remotely accurate, but I had to work with what I had at the time. So then I wore the H40 again once Raimi had it all done for me from Remzap Studios. That's a 2020 copy. So he had a lot of time and effort and work into those masks when he was doing this one for me. I really think it's a gorgeous copy. So much experience went into that one. And it's probably my favorite of the three. It just for its simplicity, I really like it, you know. So I did wear that in 2020 and it was a big hit. Again, it's pretty tight though, and my eyes feel like they're coming out of the mask, so it's a little bit tough to wear. And plus, now that it's autographed and it's kind of tight to get off, and I don't want to rub the autograph off, because I noticed last time I did that you could almost see a little bit of the I don't know if it was smudging or maybe just a little bit of fading, and I thought, you got to be really careful, you know. I also wore the Halloween Ends mask that he did for me just last year, you know, with the last minute coverall job I did here. So that's cool. But one thing I never wore, which is crazy, is the Kills outfit. And I wore the Kills outfit to a few conventions, but never on Halloween. And it's my most accurate setup I have. It has the accurate Wolverine boots, the steel toe. It's got the proper work rate coveralls. They are professionally finished, again, by Remzap Studios, with the burn effect on the shoulder. I mean, it's pretty bang on. And then, of course, a copy of Raimi's Kills mask, which is also a beautiful work of art. He put a lot of time and effort into that one as well. That was one that we took our time with, that I ended up getting in the springtime, because I just said, you know what, you do it at your leisure, and, you know, take your time with it, and, you know, just do what you do. No rush, no headaches, no nothing. Just, you know, look at it and work on it like he did with that H40 for me, because he did such a great job. It was something he would have sitting there and it would be done, and then he'd be like, no, I want to change this, and you know, like he would just keep working on it, and it looked amazing, you know. So I wanted him to do that with Kills, which he completely did. And I thought, you know, I've never worn it for Halloween, and I have the whole setup as well as the hand prop now. I'm going to try. It'll be interesting to use the hand prop and then put a wrap around it, get it all bloody and stuff. I think it'll look pretty badass. So I am looking forward to trying that out. So that is what I'm going to be putting on for Halloween. So what are all of you guys doing for Halloween tonight? Let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think about the pickups and the upcoming masks. I'm really excited for sure. A little disappointed I didn't get Ghostface in time. That was kind of a big oof blunder there. But what do you do, right? At least it's still coming, and it's going to be exciting as hell when I get my hands on it. And how about that SC75? Man, I'm really excited for that nag mask. And to know that it's already on its way to me, ooh, so cool. It's going to be a little crazy getting it just after Halloween too. It'll be like, oh, I got to wait a whole year. But there will be chances to cosplay, I'm sure, and I will probably have to try that out as well. Hopefully Nick Castle will come back to Alberta, hopefully Calgary or something soon, and I can get that one signed, because that is the one I really want signed. Not so much this one that is signed. He did sign this one for me, which is cool, as well as the H40. He did get his autograph on there, which is awesome, but it would be amazing to have it on like my Grail 78, you know? So I guess we'll see what the future brings. But anyway, that is it for now, guys. So thanks so much for watching as always, and you have a safe and happy Halloween, and we will see you soon for another one. Take care.